Great question, Janice. In actual fact, it was 12,205 days ago that Joe Biden, declared that he was interested, was bidding for the presidency. 12,000 days ago. And now, after those first two unsuccessful tries, he's a winner. What's changed? Well, actually, nothing's changed. He has been dogged and steadfast from the beginning. Of course, he has not been spectacular, and Donald Trump has decided that the best course to attack his competitor, Joe Biden, was to pick on that, as Ben just said, to refer to him as Sleepy Joe, to mock him for being in his so-called basement, as opposed to going and campaigning actively in the country, for wearing a mask that the president said was the biggest mask he had ever seen. Now, interestingly, and this matters because it goes to how Joe Biden will preside over this country, he did not flinch. In fact, when people said that he should be campaigning more in Florida, he stuck to his guns and campaigned in Wisconsin, Michigan and Pennsylvania particularly, and of course that's the state, as you were just saying, that brought victory home. Now, Joe Biden, in terms of what he believes in, is famously a devout Catholic, but really, perhaps Donald Trump should have been thinking in terms of how to deal with this man. He perhaps should have been thinking of the statement of Gandhi, which is, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win.
Before COVID-19, before civilians wearing masks was a thing, Joe Biden threw his hat in the ring. It was April 2019.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
But also in 1987, his first presidential bid, undone by plagiarism. And then a second bid in 2007. Joe Biden's White House dreams only gaining traction when he joined an historic ticket.
Let me say it as simply as I can. Yes, I accept your nomination to run and serve with Barack Obama, the next President of the United States of America.
8 years cheek by jowl with power.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
In the Oval Office and a famously close partnership.
The best vice president America's ever had, Mr. Joe Biden. This also gives the internet one last chance to talk about our bromance.
Tears as President Obama bestowed the nation's highest civilian honor, weeping familiar territory in the Biden household. In 1972, freshly elected to Congress, his young wife and daughter were killed in a car accident while he was in Washington.
One boy was in the back seat on top of his dead sister, and my other boy was on top of his dead mother.
Joe Biden would take his oath of office in his son's hospital room and carry his experience of suffering all the way to this election.
I know how mean and cruel and unfair life can be sometimes.
His eldest son had died from brain cancer in 2015. Beau Biden, a veteran and emerging politician. Citing the family's grief, Joe Biden ruled out a presidential bid in 2016. And when Republican Senator John McCain was diagnosed with the same brain cancer in 2017, comforting his TV personality daughter.
Your dad took care of my Beau. And Beau talked about your dad's courage, not about illness, but about his courage.
But while Republicans have acknowledged that empathy is Biden's political superpower in 2020, the Democrat notorious for this episode. In 1991, grilling Anita Hill, who had accused then Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas of sexual harassment. The head of the committee, he questioned her in acute detail on live TV.
What was the most embarrassing of all the incidences that you have alleged?
And in this era, after multiple women accused him of having touched them in an inappropriate manner, Biden compelled to address that on social media.
And I get it. I hear what they're saying. I understand it.
and I'll be much more mindful. That's my responsibility.
Also coming under attack during the primary debates from the senator who would become his running mate, Kamala Harris, chastising him for his prior policy and statements on race.
And it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful.
Joe Biden equally under pressure in the Democratic primaries, coming fourth in Iowa, fifth in New Hampshire. His campaign not resuscitated until victory in South Carolina.
For all of those who've been knocked down, counted out, left behind, this is your campaign. And we are very much alive.
The 77-year-old who suffered from a childhood stutter becoming his party's choice to take on Donald Trump.
I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
Joe Biden in search of his own truth. Fueled